Welcome to another exciting edition of the Now Streaming Show. I am your host, Chukwebuka Ike, and we're live on air from the capital city of Abuja. I'm in the studio this morning, Mr. Raphael Jaokomo, our
Thank you.
regular guest.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Welcome, Mr. Raphael. Mr. Raphael is a social and sports commentator, and also we have joining us this morning Prince Kelechi. Prince Kelechi, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, he is a professional football referee. Joining us virtually is Comrade Abraham Soko. He's a political and sports analyst, and he's joining us all the way from Delta State. Comrade, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome, very well. All right, as we start this beautiful Thursday, let's set the tune with a quote from our very own Nigerian legend, Fela Kuti. The power, he says, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. Indeed. The people in power have been making decisions that affect our great nation, from the recent change in our national anthem to the latest development in the world of sports. So sit back, relax, share your thoughts by calling in via the numbers now showing on your screen, or by sharing your comments on our various social media handles also showing on your screen. Now we'll dive into the world of sports. Just to inform you that our Wafu B on the 17th team has tried their best to make us proud as they finished third in the ongoing Wafu B on the 17th competition, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for these youngsters, although there's little or no chance of them going to the African under 17 championship. So, and in other news, the Nigerian Professional Football League (NPFL) is heating up with the Big Six team being knocked out from the first round at the ongoing Presidential Cup. Which, just to ask you viewers, which team are you now rooting for when we have the big teams out of the course? And of course, we can't ignore the latest news from English League and beyond. So just remember, you can share your thoughts and views on the numbers showing on your screen, or by sending your views and comment to our various social media handles. All right, so let's get started with the conversation and why I take the front page of the Punch Sports Extra. All right, the lead story there says, "Not good enough?" A question. Stakeholders voice concerns over alienation of NPFL players from Eagles. All right, that's on the front page of Punch Sports Extra, and continues on page 6 of the same paper. Above the masthead, it says Federation Cup upsets at Sokoto United stun Eimba. All right, that's what I made mention earlier on. That the Big Six are out of the Presidential Cup. All right, that's on page 7 of Punch Sports Extra. Page 7 also has the story on Atlanta may place 40 million pounds on Lookman. All right, so fans to Osime snub Saudi move. Now the fans are trying to stimulate Osime not to go to Saudi. Page 7 also have the story on Eagles camp opens Monday for World Cup qualifier. And then page 3 has the story as Bayern appoints Vincent Company as new coach. So beside the masthead, we have on page 3 Bellingham La Liga Player of the Year. Below that, we have on page 8 Barca confirms Flick new head coach. Page 5 has the story on Arsenal make offer for 40 million pounds Ziggy, and then club aims dig at Den Haag. That's on page 5. And Usyk Fury rematch dates confirmed. If you want to know if you're a lover, you love boxing, you want to know more about that, pick up the Punch Sport Extra and head on to page 2 of that the paper. Page 2 also have the Al End Hooper's Ball Dream in semis. And then page 4 has the story on United sets 12 million pounds on one Bisaka asking prize. All right, so we now come here to the studio and we will talk about 2026 World Cup qualifier. That's one of our majors now this morning. Let's look at Finidi George and his coaching crew. They will be assuming camp on Monday, the 3rd of June 2024. Want to find out. Osime is out, and Finidi has replaced him with one Nigerian Premier.
Yes, he left back.
Yes, and a whole lot,
NPFL.
yes, from the NPFL, and a whole lot. And most persons now are asking this morning, especially on the front page of the Sport Extra, where they're asking, are players in the NPFL not good enough? So, what's your view this morning?
If thank you. If Finidi George, who was the coach of Eimba, couldn't even get somebody from Eimba to play for him. If you check the first guy, I think Ismail is his name, was from Remo Stars, and the guy's the right back who has been touted as the Nigerian Daniel Alves.
I just need to confirm, but I think he called somebody from Eimba, from.
That goalkeeper has been there long. He has been there, so he didn't just call him. He was the top choice goalkeeper at the AFCON, so he has been there. And then we have
the player he's using in replacement of Osimhen.
He's a left back. I think he's from Rangers. I think Rangers. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, from Rangers. Now the thing about the local league is this: when you always play. It's just recently, and I give kudos to the body, because before, if you're playing in the local league, the home team must always win.
True.
But now you see people go away to get results, and it begs to tell you that now if you don't play well, even if you're at home, you lose, and that's how you get good players. But if I go to your home and you must win, there's no need for me to put in any effort into whatever I'm doing, and by extension, it affects the psyche of the footballers, because they know, and before you know it, they don't give you the best, because they know when they come to their own home, no matter what you play, they will win. When they go away, no matter what they play, you will win. So you cannot get the best out of these players. But I think Finidi is trying to get back to the period of them, Clemens Wensterhoff, Joe Bonfrey, and most recently 2013 Stephen Keshi, who tried out some of these boys and they worked out fine. Replacing Osimhen, someone would have said, why not bring in an attacker? Nigeria, I don't think we've been a team that has struggled with
the attack.
Most of the time, as we speak right now, our backline can boast of maybe Calvin Bassey and Semi Ajayi, because most of those guys at the back, and maybe Chidozie Awaziem, most of the guys at the back are new guys, or those who are still trying to fit in one way or the other. So we need people that can show up this defense. And one thing I can pride the Nigerian league for is we always find a way to come up with good defenders, because the Nigerian league is all about defending, stopping people from scoring you, and so on and so forth. So, but for the attack, of course, we have Paul Onuachu, we have Arna Lukman, we have Seri Desas, and so on. You can keep naming them in the attack. So we don't think, and then coming back to the team again, Wilfred Ndidi. So the team is good from the middle forward, but of course they say your attacking team is as good as your defense. Do you understand me? If you keep scoring and you're shipping in goals, then nothing is happening. So I think the NPFL needs to do a lot of work where people can seem to get result anywhere they play
from.
And by that's why if you check even the continental tournament, when Nigeria goes, we drop out, because they can't seem to get results away from home, and then when they come back home, even this team from away still come to beat them.
All right. So Prince Kelechi, we look at the just like Raphael made mention while he was talking. We now want to look at our backline ahead of the qualifiers. We have Ajayi and the other guy, Calvin Bassey. But I read a comment somewhere, or a statement somewhere, where Balogun was saying why hasn't he been invited, and is it that he's not available, or what, that he himself is available? But I believe so much that we need experienced defenders like Balogun.
Was there Omeru on the list? I don't think
I think Omeru is there. So alongside Omeru and Balogun, who is very experienced, although his club side is not doing very well, but he plays he has enough playing time and he's experienced. So we need more of experienced experienced hands. Although that I see the point that maybe Finidi is trying to feature in young stars, people who still have maybe energy, but we also need experienced players in that defense. Well, what's your preview or your review on that?
Yes, Finidi is the head coach, and he knows. I want to believe he knows what he wants and he knows what he wants to achieve. Now, apart from the fact that we have Ajayi and Basi, we also have Tanimu. Now, if we check the friendly we played, the two friendlies we played against Ghana and Mali, also, if I'm not mistaken, you have the young man Tanimu that plays in Tanzania. He is also a very good defender.
Yes, Tanimu.
Now, if you also look at the back line, we have Bright Osai. We have the young man from Rangers that was called. You know, we have a lot of them, because if you're looking at him not calling one person for the other, you should be asking why Olaina did not make the team. Okay, so we have lots of talents. I want to believe we have a lot of talent. Now, Balogun just played the Scottish Cup against Celtic, even though they lost, and he played very well. You know, so we have lots and lots of talent. Now, him replacing Osimhen with a left back, just like Mr. Rafa said, when you go to the front line, we have enough firepower there. Enough. Now, when I mean enough, I mean we have enough. Enough that we could not even call some. You know, so I believe he knows what he's doing, and I see Finidi in a short while changing the Nigerian team. Now, you agree with me that there are some cries called Olise that was left out of the French team. Iberi was later called to the English team. You know, I see in a future where he's going to change the narrative of those who don't play well stay out of the team and bring those that play. And coming down to the MPFL, now for him to have given these two persons, both a left back and a right back, that simply shows you he has the MPFL in mind. That is one. And secondly, he has seen their contributions, because the person that was picked, the right back player that was picked, has one of the highest assists, if not from a right back position. Just like Mr. Rafael compared to Daniel Alves, that will show you how good he is. And this is a forum for them also to sell themselves.
Exactly.
It's a good forum. Now, we have all these foreign players that have played, they are playing abroad. Okay, certainly, sorry to say, the goalkeeper, I don't think he's going to man the goalpost anytime soon, because he's still the third choice. But you know, the right back, the left back, this is a forum to sell the MPFL, saying we have talents, we have these good players outside, and with time we'll see them flourish.
All right. So I come to you, comrade. Lukman is now has a new price tag on him, and so if anybody is coming to look for Lukman at Atlanta, he should be reading his checkbook to pay large and huge. So do you think this new price tag will influence his performance at the Super Eagles in the games ahead for the Super Eagles?
I don't think that the new price tag is going to influence his performance. You need to understand that football is all about talent, it's all about discipline, it's all about determination. And these indices will not just depart from him because he has a new price tag. But I understand your question, because sometimes when you put this huge buyout clause on a player, this huge violation on players, there is a tendency to feel pressured by this new price tag. But generally speaking, I don't think that that's going to go to the head of Lukman, because he has shown that he has been a very good professional player for the Eagles, and I believe that in the same vein he's going to continue to be a very good professional for our Super Eagles team. So absolutely not. I don't think the new price tag is going to have any pressure on him. He's going to go on and perform very well for the Super Eagles. I believe that strongly.
All right, so I think you want to make so let's quickly want to add to that.
I somewhat strongly disagree with Comrade Soko on this case. A lot of players have faced this same situation where they get this price tag, and then when they get to a new club, there are so many expectations from them, and they don't deliver. Number one, Fernando Torres, when he left Liverpool to Chelsea, we saw how he struggled, and same thing happened to Morata when he left from wherever I was to Chelsea. Same.
Atletico
So
Madrid.
yes, to Chelsea. A lot of them struggle. It just takes it takes the player to say to himself, yes, irrespective of whatever it is, the tag that has been placed on me.
Yeah.
Let me just go there, do my best, and prove my worth. Do you understand? The same thing Kepa also suffered when he came. He suffered because he was touted as one of the most expensive goalkeeper when he came.
About 80 million.
Yes, into Chelsea. But we saw how
He struggled
he
to keep up.
because a lot was expected. The same thing happened to what's it called?
Enzo
Onana.
Fernandez, yeah,
It happened to Onana in Manchester United. He came out, a ball playing
million,
goalkeeper is going to do this. A lot was expected, but Man U had never shipped so much goals that they shipped this last season.
100 and
Do
something.
you understand? They've never gotten that much. So
Exactly.
it comes to play. All these things come to play. It just takes the player to tell himself, let me just go there, give in my best, the best way I think I can pull through. But you and I know the fans will expect a lot. Mind you, Lookman just scored hat-trick in the Europa League final. So when it comes to a club, they're expecting to score in, week out. If you like, have one leg, they expect you to score. Do you understand? No,
at every match.
you don't no explanation. You know, when Osimhen finished the last season as a top scorer, everybody expected him to be up there. Yes,
Every,
it's true. I think
every
it
ball
was-
that comes in the
Yes.
box that he should score.
he should score. So that pressure, it comes with a lot of pressure. So I believe these things have their way of affecting player psyche.
Yeah, but sorry, just to add a little, I want us to look at this in a different ball game entirely. If Lookman had played for England, you and me, we agree that the 40 million price tag here is too small for him. He will have nothing less than 60 to 80.
Of course,
Let's
you
just
know,
answer the truth.
we know how the
We're
British
not,
press.
we're not bringing those sets.
No, now, I want us to look at it this way now. Based on his performance for
Yeah.
Atlanta in the league and also the
In the
Europa
Europa
League,
Europa League.
you agree with me that this 40 million
Okay,
is
I
too
think
small.
I think Prince is trying to say 40 million is
It's
too
too
small
small.
for a player of that magnitude.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Because-
mind you, it was at the Nations Cup and it was one of the top
Yeah,
Top
scorer
scorer
was
with 4 goals.
exactly.
With 4 goals. And look at the record he kept. Scoring hat-trick in an European final.
The first.
The first, you know, yes, I know the sense of belonging is there, but if he was to be a British player, just like Peter Crouch was saying, if he was patient, he would have played for England and all that.
Patience score.
40 million pounds price tag is too small for Lookman. And secondly, the Lookman I know, the Ademola Lookman I know, haven't seen him play for, I think, the under 20 England
Of
under 20
England
for them
20,
to
yeah.
have gone to win the World Cup. You know, Lookman is a player that develops week in, week out.
Alright.
So I don't see the price tag in quotes being much pressure on him, because even after the Europa, the last match he played, he had a goal and an assist for Atlanta. So I believe Lookman is a player that is going to deliver.
All right, so
But it depends on the club he goes to. So you don't go to
where he doesn't have enough support
yes.
that he needs. All right, so just before we move ahead to the English side, let's touch a bit on our local football team, where we see the six Premier League Nigerian Premier League giants out of the Presidential Federation Cup. We see the likes of Eyimba, Rivers United, Katsina United, Akwa United, Aba Warriors, Abia Warriors, and 3SC. They are all out of this competition. And let me just run down the score line for the last match. Victories from Bauchi 0, EFCC for FC from FCT 1, KB United 1, Aqua United 0, Kenami Warriors from Boronu 1, Shooting Stars from Oyo State 0, Ikorodu City 1, Inter Lagos 1, and then Inter Lagos went ahead to win 5-4 on penalties. Then Kwara United 1, Abia Warriors 1. Abia Warriors went ahead to win 4-3 on penalties. Sokoto United 1, Eyimba 0. Sunshine Stars from Ondo 1, Rivers United 0, Katsina United 1, Kano Pillars 1. And then the Kano Pillars went ahead to win on penalties on 8-7 on penalties. So the next pairings for the quarterfinal stage now is EFCC versus KB United, and Kanami Warriors versus Inter Lagos, Abia Warriors versus Sokoto United, and Sun Stars versus Sunshine Stars. Thank you versus Kano Pillars. That's the next stage of the matches. And so we're talking about Finidi and him
NPFL
fielding
players.
in the NPLFF players, and just this coming up just against that now to tell you that Eyimba did not even qualify
Qualified.
to the next stage. So Ralph, you making mention of the fact that he coached Eyimba, and were they performing well before his announcement as a national coach in this presidential federation cup, or were they performing poorly?
Mind you, I think last season, if I'm not mistaken, the Eyimba won the league. I stand to be corrected. Eyimba won the league and was coached by Finidi
Finidi.
George. Do you understand? But if he, who is the coach of the national team, still doesn't see fit or see any player fit in that team to be in the national team, I don't think we should force him to bring anybody from that team. But on a lighter note,
But I'm looking at it from this angle. Let it not be like he's being selfish, picking his own known
if you're
players.
good, you're good. If you're good, you're good.
So he
Irrespective
was
of
trying to
whatever you're coming from.
balance the view so that nobody comes with an accusing finger and say, okay,
If you're good, you're good.
yeah.
I will not, because of one person's sentiments or one person's problem, cause myself problem. Because if he doesn't do good, he'll kick you out. So if you have good players coming from your angle, why not play them? This is not a place where you come and say you are doing federal character. You want to balance everybody, bring everybody from all the states. If the person is not good, keep him out. We've had players from different states. Sorry, I'm looking at it from this angle, from different states who have played in the national team and they've done well. Do you understand? Not when the player is not good, you say because you don't want them to say you are bringing somebody from here. Let me just go and carry this one. You're still going to do yourself more harm than good. Do you understand? And then for the results that we've seen thus far, it just goes to tell you what these teams can do if given a fair ground to play, because they play in neutral grounds. They play on neutral grounds, and you see the results. You know, I was on a lighter mode. I was thinking, hope the people that lost against EFCC is not because of fear of reproach. That's why they say, I beg, we can win. Begin to check our books. You understand? But they play in neutral grounds, and then you can see results. You play well, you win. Do you understand me? You play well, you win. And during the days of Clemens Westerhoff and Joe Bonfrey, they take their time to go and watch these players play. That's why people like Finidi himself was picked from the local team, Nwankwo Kanu, Daniel Amokachi, and the likes. And in the 2013 team that won the AFCON Nations Cup, the man that was at the heart of the defense, Godfrey Obabana, was in the local league. Yobo started the first match, and after they tried Obabana, that was the end. He played till the end. And we had
the person that scored the winning goal.
Yes,
Sunday
Sunday was also in the local league. We had about 5 of them, Ruben Gabriel and the likes. So if you play well, irrespective of if I'm your coach and you're playing well, haba, there is no need for me to be saying, people will say, because at the end of the day, I always say this, at the end of the day, the same people that you thought would have said will ask you, why didn't you play this person? Why didn't you bring in this person? We thought Ahmed Musa was the top goal scorer in Kano Pillars at some point in the league, and was brought into the national team. And you and I know that till date, Ahmed Musa holds the highest cap for the national team. And he delivered every time he was brought on to play for the national team. So I don't think we should add all those sentiments. If they are good, and it should be played. And I think they should do more of playing these matches on neutral ground so that we can get good results and see good football.
All right, so Prince, before I come to you, maybe I should also read out the score for the round of 16 for the women's playing also. So we also have to, we just take the two of them together. All right, so the President's Federation Cup women's round of 16 results. So we have Bayelsa Queens 1, Nasarawa Amazons 1. So Nasarawa Amazon went ahead to win 6-5 on penalties, and then Danaza Ladies 0, Remo Ladies 1, Abia Angels 0, Niger Rattles 4. All right, so Heartland Queens from Imo 0, FC Robo Queens from Lagos 2, Kwara Ladies 0, Delta Queens 7, Sunshine Queens 2, Honey Badgas 0, so that's 2-0. Oshun Babes 1, Confluence Queen from Kogi won, and Ocean Babes went ahead to win 4-3 on penalties. Then Edo Queens won Rivers Angels 4. So those who are up for the quarterfinals, that's the quarterfinal pairings. We have Nasarawa Amazons against Remo Stars Ladies, and then Niger Rattles versus FC Rebel Queens, Delta Queens versus Sunshine Queens, and Oshun Babes versus Rivers Angels. So, alongside your review on these matches played, these are our own local match and local competition. Alongside your review on their play so far and their performance so far, we also want you to look at what's your prediction in each of these pairing. Who do you think will come out as the champion?
Okay, well, yeah, Mr. Rafi, I've said so many things, but I want us to understand something now. The Nigerian League is not a league for home team. Let's start from there. And the beauty of the Federation Cup,
and because you're a referee and you officiate in the Nigerian League,
the beauty of the Federation Cup is the fact that it plays on neutral grounds. For instance, at the area 3 field here, that's where Rivers United plays there. At the Goal Project, that's where Eyimba plays there. You go to the Buhari Stadium, EFCC played there at Kano. Kano Pillars went to Jos. They get to take you around. Now, if you look at the performance of these teams, yes, just like you said, the big six are out. But you agree with me that the teams that knocked out these big six are teams from the lower league, the NNL. For instance, EFCC plays in the NNL, KB United, all of them plays in the NNL. This will show you that the league is developing. Okay. That I play in the MPFL, it's not a guarantee that I must win. All these persons that were knocked out, Eyimba, Rangers, they have about 18 trophies in between them. Check out the record. And the teams that knocked them out just have 2 in between these teams that knocked out these big 6. So this show you that the league is developing. Now, if you check the NWPFL Super 6 that just finished at Bayelsa a few days ago, you're going to see some results that you never expect. This show you that yes, teams are coming up. Coaches are doing their job very well. Just like you're talking about Eyimba. Eyimba is second on the log. When Finidi left, his assistant took over. And you and me, we agree that his assistant currently has one of the highest badges in terms of coaching.
Okay.
So you show that Eyimba is really going front. They are really going ahead, and there's about 4 points between the first and the second. So the Federation Cup is really springing up surprises. I must tell you the truth. Kudos to the president of the NRA, Alhaji Sanu Zubairu, for deploying him and his team for deploying good referees to handle these matches, because gone are those days where if you go for matches, it's always home win. Nowadays it's away win. Home teams are even begging for draw or to win. If you don't know how to play, you lose. So kudos to the NRA president, and I must tell you that surprises are what we're going to be seeing. Right now I can't predict and tell you this team is going to win, this team is not going to win, but let's just see how it keeps going. And I wish them all the best.
All right, thank you. So viewers, remember you can call in to share your comments or send your comment via our various social media handles now showing on your screen. Just to let you know that our flight to Europe is ready to take off. But before we board and go off to Europe, I want to ask Comrade Abraham Soko, what's your view on thus far on our Nigerian Premier League teams in the ongoing President's Federation Cup?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka. The Federation Cup has been a tournament of shockers. From what I gathered, it was only 2 NPL team that qualified to the quarterfinals, and that shows that the lower ranked teams are doing very well. This brings me to supporting Mr. Rafe in his view on indigenous players. We really need to ask ourselves what is really happening. We are very fond of blaming the government, blaming the lack of funding, the lack of bonuses and all that. Now we have abundance of players in our indigenous league, but we are not having the same quota when it comes to call-up. I think in recent times it was Steve Keshi that called the highest number of indigenous players in 2013 World Cup, AFCON in South Africa. I think it was six indigenous players that called for that tournament, and he featured all of them. and one of them went on to score against Burkina Faso. After we asked Nkechi, we came, I think it was Gernot Roy that took over, and he said that he made a pronouncement. One of our headlines we read out today, that's not good enough. I think that comment came from Gernot Roy. He said that the players, the indigenous players, the NFL players were not good enough, that he had better players. So he was the one that, I didn't know the number he went on to invite. I think it was not more than 2, 3. And Jose Pizarro took over, and he kept inviting Thierry. Ojo was constant, the goalkeeper. He was a constant. He was invited a lot, and 2 others. So now the question, it now comes down to coming back to this our Federation Cup. You see a great performance from indigenous teams, but we are not getting the associated color, and it is not really good enough. It's not good enough by beneath the judge. We really need to. We are talking about the national anthem that it's foreign based, and there's a need for us to have indigenous anthem. And we come to our national anthem, we are discarding our indigenous players for foreign players. It is not really good enough.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Our flight is ready to take off to Europe right away. But before we board and fly to Europe, let's touch down in Cameroon, where there is a controversy between the president of the federation and the minister of sports. I don't know what do you think about that? And then at the tail end, there is an appointment of an interim coach for the Cameroonian side. What's your view, Mr. Raphael?
I think everybody should just know where to draw the line. I think everybody should know where to draw the line. This is Samuel Eto'o, who is the federation president, having issue with the sport minister. I think everybody should know where to draw the line, because I don't think he's in tune with the coach that has been employed.
Okay.
And for somebody who has played the game to the highest level anyone would want to play to, and now is in the helm of affairs of the the football federation, I think should be given, I don't know how they run their things down there, but I think should be given a lot of free way to do whatever it is they need to do. You know, the sport minister covers all sports, not focusing on football alone.
But the federation president,
yes, that's why I said people need to know where to draw the line. And if he's telling you, I don't know what the sport minister sees anyways, but if the federation president is telling you, I don't want this person to handle, because at the end of the day, if the football team fails, everything goes back to the bulk of the federation president. So I think they should meet and find a way to solve this problem so that the team doesn't suffer.
All right, so I praise Kelechi. Now we're in Europe, where our flight has landed. I see that there's a new approach to the coaching crew in most of the teams in Europe, where we see young coaches being engaged to coach big teams like with the likes of Vincent Kompany, with very little coaching experience, going to coach a big team like Bayern Munich. What do you think about this, Prince Kelechi?
Sometimes I get to wonder how, I don't know if I'm to use the right word, how some coaches are being employed, because your CV should speak for you. Okay, Kompany's first coaching assignment was at Burnley. Yes, he did very well, moving them from the Championship to the Premier League, and I also give him kudos for taking them back to the Championship. But I was so shocked when I got the news Kompany to Bayern Munich is a done deal, and I begin to ask myself, how do this club sites get to pick coaches? Now it also brings you down to Chelsea looking for a new coach, and I saw some criteria that were giving a coach that had to compete with the likes of Arteta and Guardiola. Now you should be able to look at the CVs of these coaches. Barcelona just fired Xavi, and they brought in Hansi Flick. He's a very good coach. He has coached Bayern Munich, has won so many championship with them. So I'm still trying to put in tune what is that thing that Vincent Kompany have really done.
Grace.
Okay, I will leave it to that. Grace.
Because that's the only explanation you can give for somebody whose team was knocked out of the EPL
back to the championship,
and then
and
he's getting
to a club like Bayern.
Now he's going to be coaching a player he played with.
The likes of Thomas, not even Harry. Okay, look at the likes of Thomas Miller. What are you now going to tell these players? They've played to the high. Yes, he was a player as well. He played also to the highest level. But look at the caliber of players they're going to face. You know, it's just like when Rooney, when being appointed, I think is it Plymouth now, if I'm not mistaken. That appointed him as their new coach, and you know, someone was posted recently. I think he's trying to ply them back to the lower division again. So club sites hiring coaches, they really need to look at what do they have to bring on the table, what do they have to offer. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Vincent Kompany has that experience, in quote, to coach a club like Bayern Munich. I was expecting Kompany to start just like he started from Burnley. Gradually, you know, you climb the ladder. The Leicester City coach now, if I'm not mistaken, it's about to sign for Chelsea. And if you look at his CV, he was assistant to Pep at Man City, just the way Arteta was also assistant to Pep. So you see, you go from the lower cadre and then move, because truth be told, if Kompany don't perform in Bayern, he had until 2027. I'm telling you, one season is okay, we'll send him out.
And to add to when he mentioned Maresca, which is the coach that Chelsea is looking at, I think being under Pep is now one of the criteria to
be a good coach,
to getting these jobs, and being good also. Because if you
the company played under Pep,
but he did not. He was not part of his coaching.
Yes, he might not have coached under Pep or learnt under Pep, but there's a way you play under a particular coach. That's something that happened to Arteta. Do you understand? He played under some of these big coaches and then worked with Pep. You might be surprised to know that even Fabregas just brought a team from the second division in Italy to Syria at the moment. Yes. So the same thing with Alonso doing good at Leverkusen, who has played under Ancelotti also.
Yeah.
And I think garnered some experience with all these coaches. I think right now, young coaches with good, fresh experience, fresh ideas are coming to the fore right now. I think that's what is playing out, because a lot of these old coaches are being phased out. The oldest now, you think you have on ground now, maybe Ancelotti, and then the coach of Atalanta, who I think is 66.
That's also very soon.
Yeah, but if you look around, you see that there are more young coaches coming up, and maybe, who knows, Vincent might go to Bayern and
perform very well.
We wish him well. Certainly, we do wish him well.
All right. So, comrade, let's board the flight to UEFA right now, and let's give you a review of last game, the UEFA Conference League, where we saw Fiorentina going to the final for the second time and losing. They lost the first Conference Cup final. They lost to West Ham. Now they've lost to Olympiacos, and we also want to congratulate Olympiacos for winning their first ever
Greek team to win any European trophy.
To win any European championship, and it happened yesterday at.
And it was still an African player.
Yeah, an African player also scored.
So
not just even an African player, they won the title in the stadium of their rivals.
Yeah, exactly. That's even Ankten. Yes, that's where the match. So comrade, well, let's have your review, and then I also want to get your pick. Up next this weekend, it's coming up this weekend is the final of the champions, UEFA champions, where we'll be having the big boys knocking their heads together to pick up the trophy. So let's have your view, sir.
Okay, thank you. I actually saw that game between Olympiacos and Fiorentina, and the game was really exciting. It was a tactical affair. Both teams were trying to be tactical. They were not giving much opportunities, more room for the others to outshine each other. So what actually happened in that game, I think it went to extra time, and the 16th minute of the extra time, El Kabi scored the winner. After a lengthy VAR review, the goal actually stood. So it was a very exciting match, and congratulations to Olympiacos. Yeah, as you said, they are the first Greek team to win this major tournament. And it's also important to note that Kabi was also the highest goal scorer in the Conference League. I think he scored 16 goals. It's really a magnificent feat on his part. So it was really an exciting game yesterday. onto the Champions League, the big boys, Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid, it's still also going to be a tight affair. What I've noticed about these finals, there's the need for most of the teams they usually take this cautious approach to it. It's very, 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 very unusual to see a final that you see a high scoring final. It's very unusual because there's usually this caution, there's usually this tactical approach. So on that, I see Real Madrid coming out on top just because they have greater experience in that level. As I always say, they are the team with the football heritage, as I call it. I will give them the final due to that experience and the football heritage they have. Thank you, Mr. Ebuka.
All right. So thank you, gentlemen, here in the studio. Just a quick one. What's Kelechi? What's your prediction by Borussia Dortmund against Real Madrid on Saturday?
Before I give my prediction, just a quick one. My mind actually told me Olympiacos was going to win the Conference League.
Okay.
Now, reason being that their junior team also won the UEFA Youth League.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they did it in a stunning and astonishing way. And I actually said I wish Olympiacos win, looking at the oppositions they've passed through. And if you look at this season's European Championship, you agree with me that not me or you gave it to Atlanta to beat Leverkusen. Because of the way Leverkusen played, and you also agree
with their unbeaten record. Yeah,
you never also saw Olympiacos beating Fiorentina.
Exactly.
I'm also saying you never can tell Dortmund will beat Real.
I want to look at it from another angle.
Okay.
Two veterans about to bow out of football, Marco Rose and Toni Kroos.
Oh,
two German footballer, and then this is going to be the battle of who got it sweetest. Toni Kroos have had this Champions League, I think 4 or 5 times. He has won it 4 or 5 times. Marco Rose I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't. He lost against Bayern
Munich. So everybody is tilting towards Marco Rose so that he can get something. But at the same time, Toni Kroos is one player everybody loves.
Yeah, exactly.
And Madrid does not see Champions League final. With their eyes.
Sergio Ramos and
I don't think in the past 10 years or 15 years we have witnessed any Champions League final that Madrid lost. For everyone they get to, they pick it up. So I'm sorry for Borussia Dortmund and Marco Rose.
All right, so the viewers, you've heard it all from our guest here today on the show. Well, just before we call it a date, I want to draw us back a little bit to last week's Saturday's game, where we saw the citizens giving it up to the United.
Yes.
I think some people are saying that.
Thank God I want man you just said that. Thank God.
Some people were saying that this City gave it up to the United, but I wouldn't look at it that way. But I also want to say that that comment or that view it's coming from Arsenal fans.
On behalf of all the Arsenal fans, I take that comment back.
All right, because they had wanted West Ham to beat City at the final EPL game, but because of what Arsenal did to West Ham, they dealt with them. I think 6-0 or 5-0 thereabout. So West Ham didn't have enough courage to give you the offer. But all right. So gentlemen, what do you think? Just in 1 second, your last word about the the FA Cup.
Well, I must commend United. After the.
Are you a United fan?
No, I'm not, but I must have to commend them because they play. After the Premier League, the coach said we are going to Wembley to bring back the cup. Now, that's if you look at that, I see that as a speech where you really have that sense of courage that you're going to go and deliver.
Even with the mind that he has lost his job.
Exactly. And even after winning, he said, if they don't want me, I'll go to other teams and go and win. So I must give it to United. And City, if I'm to say City, we are feeling themselves.
Okay.
Now, feeling themselves that we are European champions, we are Premier League champions, we are champions of the champions. No. Yes, you are. But at the same time, you are playing around leather objects. Play it to the fullest.
All right,
And
thank
he's the
you.
best United I've
All right,
seen.
thank you very much. Thank you. So, Mr. Raphael, I would have loved to take your view, but my pilot is beckoning on me to get off the flight. All right, so that's all we. Oh, that's all the time we have for today, viewers. Thank you so much for joining us on this exciting edition of the Now Streaming Show. Thank you for being my guest, Prince Kelechi and Mr. Raphael, and
Thank you
also
very
to
much.
Comrade Abraham Soko, all the way from Delta State. Thank you so much. And then, viewers, please remember the power of the people may be greater than the people in power, but it is essential to stay informed and engage in the decisions that shape our nations. Nigeria, we hail thee, but let's not forget the labors of our heroes past and the works of our founding fathers, the likes of Ajayi Crowther, Baba Adetiloye, Baba Akinola, Baba Nicholas, and the likes. Let's keep making our voices heard and celebrating our achievements in Christendom, in Christianity, in sports, and beyond. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep shining Nigeria. You are not alone. Goodbye.